Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to the showdown between the Wood Elves led by Glady atop our mighty Forest Dragon and the Vampire Counts who are going to be led by the Red Duke, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he's on a dragon as well. So without further ado, let's jump right into this match and have some fun. So up here in the frontal vanguard area, I do have two groups of the Deepwood Scouts with the Swift Shiver Shards. It's a bit of a tongue twister for me to say for some reason, but regardless, I think they're a pretty decent choice. I would have to say that Wood Elves are probably one of my weaker factions. I don't really have a comprehensive understanding of them, but nonetheless, I've seen these guys used to great effect. I've had success with them myself, and they definitely hit like trucks. So if they have like a mortis engine or other targets like that that are lightly armored, like these crypt ghouls, for example, these Swift Shiver Shards, actually, I believe they shoot twice. So their missile damage is 37, definitely hit like trucks. And yeah, they can do quite a bit of work. Their range is relatively short though, so that does open them up to being hunted by hounds and all sorts of calves. So you definitely need to be relatively careful with that. So we have two groups of these bad boys. On top of that, we have a couple cav units. So we do have Wild Riders here, Wild Riders over here, and then in the back we do have the Sisters of Thorn. So since I invested very heavily in all these frontal skirmish units that are relatively vulnerable, I mean 38 speed, yes, but you can see my opponent has a ton of anti-harass stuff. He's got hounds, he's got knights, he's got all kinds of stuff. That's going to be definitely tough to fend those bad boys off. But regardless, I'm going to do my best. We do have the Glade Lord up here on the dragon with Prey of Anathrama. And I know the Great Eagle might be a little bit more, just might be safer because you can usually outrun most of the Vampire Count's units, but I wanted to try the Dragon out for its breath attacks, which could potentially do a lot of work against these Ethereal Cav on the far side. We got a Life Caster, and up here, we're just getting absolutely hog wild. We have one group of Way Watchers, two groups of Eternal Guard, and we actually were like, you know what? Let's bring a Tree Man. It should be fun. He looks pissed off, and hopefully he can branch slap some of these guys. So for my opponent's army, when I saw it, I was hoping it would be like more of a traditional Vampire Count's army, but he brought a really cool army. 4 fell bats, so instantly, I now have my hands full with these bats who are just going to be hunting down my archers. 3 of the Angry Golems, so he's got the Crypt Ghouls, which actually do okay against the infantry of the Wood Elves. Not so much against like War Dancers, but against like Eternal Guard, they can do pretty good, decent work. He's got Blood Knights, he's got Dire Wolves, he's got the Chillgeist, he's got Hex Race, and then he also has Dire Wolves and the Red Duke on a Dragon. So a ton of harass units here. This is going to be really tough to defend my unit. So let's see what happens, guys. So he's advancing here, and I'm like, oh yes, Angry Golems, 3 kills. So these guys come screeching out of the forest. They do take some pretty heavy volleys here from the Deepwood Scouts. Probably should be able to melt these bad boys before things get too crunk. And yeah, you can see the Swift Shiver Shards hitting like trucks. So I think they cost about 500 gold, so getting some decent value there. But the Fellbats are swooping in, and the hordes of hell are upon us. The Chillgeists, the Hex Race, everyone's coming in. So the Fellbats swoop in as well. My Dragon is there to help out a little bit, but at that point I just charge in these Sisters of Thorn to kind of peel them off. And I do get a pretty nice cab charge here on the flank with the Wild Riders. So they charge into the Angry Golems, definitely netting a lot of value, but the problem is there's just so much mobility from my opponent's army. He's coming in with Cav. The Deepwood Scouts, I'm able to break the Golems. You can see the Crypt Ghouls here kind of get broken off. The Fellbats do as well. So I'm pulling back now. I do have my Way Watchers up on the high ground somewhere. Oh, I think I accidentally marched them into... Oh, yeah, that's what... I was wondering what happened to them because this is the first time I watched the replay back. But yeah, I accidentally marched those guys into the Chill Rates because I think I was like... I don't know what I was shooting at. I didn't have them in melee mode. Very, very weird stuff. But anyways, the fight's still underway. Definitely not over yet. Here you can see the Wild Riders are charging into the Blood Knights. And I do get a decent little engagement with the Hex Race and everyone fighting the Wild Riders. So I finally pinned them in place, just pulling back, getting rid of his harass units, because once I can secure the back line, I felt like I might be in okay shape. Up here, my Dragon's able to get a breath attack. Unfortunately, just wasted, 1,000 gold with the Way Watchers, but hey, you know what? Everyone makes mistakes. Here we do have the Tree Man here. He's going to be pimp slapping some of these Chill guys. He definitely is pretty good against them. He has melee. He has melee attack. He actually has magic attack. So these guys are ethereal, so they're going to take quite a bit more damage. Eternal Guards do have anti-large as well, but their damage output will definitely be very poor here. So I was trying to get away, and I was like, why am I flying so slow? But I forgot it is the Great Red Duke with El Sif. He pops the Potion of Strength. Very, very good stuff there. And is able to just hit me like a truck. So I was really surprised at how fast my Lord was dying. I was like force pathing it. I was like, why isn't it not running? But we are stabilizing over here. So Sisters of Thorn are able to get a great charge on the Angry Golems, just ride those guys down. And the Deepwood Scouts in the back are just providing pretty good overwatch fire. So a lot of his troops, I mean the Crypt Ghouls as well as some of the other supporting elements are pretty beat up. We were able to fend off the Blood Knights for the most part. And despite that horrible mistake I made at the beginning of losing my unit, we're still relatively even on the bounce of power. But the big issue being is that this is happening. So the Glade Lord is being hunted by the Duke. I do have a Prey of Anathrama coming up. He does use Von Hell's Dance Macabre here to make him a little dance kebab, make himself a little bit faster, so I'm definitely having trouble getting away. The Prey of Anathrama is going to be coming off cooldown right now. I get an Earthblood as well, which is going to help top me off. And in the meantime, my Sisters of Thorn, some pretty effective cycle charging, and we do have his army in a bit of a blob. So Deepwood Scouts just melting them. Alas, my defensive units, my Spearmen, and my trees are over here, so the mobility of his army really coming into effect here. You can see the spookiest of all the Vampire Count's armies here just riding in. Definitely going to be getting into the cookie jar a little bit. So a little bit of sloppy play here, positioning them. I should have been rotating them up and behind the tree man this entire time, but I was so busy trying to keep my Lord alive that I was like, damn, I'm having a lot of trouble with this. So the Glade Lord's going to be pulling back right here. I do get the Prey of Anathrama, so as soon as that happens, I also get a Breath Attack down on the Undead Cav, so I get a decent little cast. It does take out a couple. The Tree Man's going to be moving forward, trying to help out a little bit, but the Deepwood Scouts are pretty much done for. However, Sisters of Thorn here are able to catch the Dire Wolves, the Lifecaster, as well as helping out, so we're kind of chipping away at his army. I mean, most of his ground forces are very tattered, and I still do have an Ancient Tree Man, so he doesn't have too many good answers against Ancient Tree Man, although he does have those Blood Knights on the far side, who I believe he chased something off with, or for some reason they just ended up over there. So, but the Tree Man is going to be slapping on some of these guys, slapping the base. The Eternal Guard moving in as well to provide their anti-large. Sisters of Thorn are swarming in just to pick off the Crypt Ghouls and the remnants of his kind of lower tier forces. And I'm relatively free now with the Glade Lord, so I need to run though, because the Red Duke's in pretty good health. You can see the Bounce of Power is in my opponent's favor right now. He's going to be pulling back with the Hex Race, and I think that was largely due to a very good invocation of Nehek. But Crypt Ghouls crumbling, Dire Wolves are crumbling. The Tree Man is like pretty much in perfect health, still has like 7,000, close to 7,000 HP. And Elseef coming in again, so very good play from my opponent with his Elseef, just hunting down my dragon. I really wish I had brought the Eagle at this point. I was like, I wish I had the Eagle so I could at least run and just get away. I mean, but with this dragon, like he's already, relatively speaking, the same speed, plus Van Hel's Dance Kebab is going to be giving him 112 speed, which is really good. So solid stuff from my opponent there with the Red Duke just locking me down. In the meantime, Sisters of Thorn or Wild Riders trying to pull back, but the Spellsinger with Lore of Life also gets caught. But over here we are, hey guys, we're winning the fight against the Summoned Zombie, so that's going pretty good. And the Tree Man here is also going to be marching over, so there is a bit of a Helm's Deep for my opponent to crack. So my Lord does fall in the distance. Here we just clean up the zombies, and now Bounce of Power is, it's a pretty bad little situation. So I'm just pushing forward with my Sisters of Thorn, getting some skirmish fire, slowly crumbling those doggos there, just trying to get everything I can to just get back in the game. The Spellsinger with the Lore of Life is being chased off by the Red Duke. You can see she's squealing in the distance as she's being chased by the big scary zombie dragon vampire man. Always a good time. Here on the front line, Sisters of Thorn are going to be pushing in and running over the angry golems, and this is definitely going to be some pretty good value, so they can just get punted, and they're definitely not great for taking such charges. They're in critical binding at negative leadership. The Red Duke does come in, but he's being counter-skirmished or countered a little bit by the Sisters. They're able to kite back, throw some poison javelins at him, and then we actually charge in. And the Tree Man as well is going to get in there, so he's probably going to do some branch slapping, but my opponent does summon some zombies, so definitely a good play there. In the meantime, he's just chasing my caster. So what's probably going to happen is my caster is going to get terrified, because it's pretty close to these fear and terror causing monsters here, or I guess Cav, whatever you guys want to call them. So we just clean up the zombies methodically, get a little bit of damage on the Red Duke here, but you can see my caster does eventually get terrified and caught. And the Tree Man gets in there, but yeah, he was pretty useless this game for sure. I guess he had a bit of a presence, but just based on the condition, my army was like a bit of a mixed match. I was just experimenting with some different builds. Like if I were playing in a tournament, I definitely would not bring this build against vampire counts, but I just wanted to see how it would do. But really, it's like the Tree Man is more for like a Death Star style of play where you're going to be fighting a static fight here, but my army was so mobile, and the Tree Man just couldn't keep up with the mobility of my own forces to defend them, or my opponent's mobility, and I really liked his army. It was cool, it was mobile, it was pretty badass. A huge mistake in the beginning, throwing away 1,000 gold on the Way Watchers. I think that was ultimately one of the big things that just like cost me that game outright. Nonetheless, we were able to scrap back a little bit, kind of clean things up, but the Red Duke was really solid at hunting down the Glade Lord. But had I had the Way Watchers like shooting at the Red Duke and I was able to just keep them near the Tree Men and stuff, I think I could have been in relatively good shape. Like had I flown the Duke back over the Way Watchers and used Prey of Anathrama and then just like focused them down, that would have been good. But just sloppy play in the beginning there. But aside from that, it was pretty good stuff, and I really liked my opponent's army. It was cool, it was different. He had a ton of cav. I mean, he made these guys work pretty good, and I did have magic damage to work on them, but nonetheless, they still got pretty crunk over there in my army, which was fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I would say I would definitely probably not bring the dragon. I mean, I guess you can bring the dragon, but if there's like a Terrorgeist or a zombie dragon, I think the Eagle, just having that 110 speed is really going to keep you safe. And she's not that. I mean, you have other elements to take out more descendants. I don't think you really need the dragon, to be honest. Although I don't know, I've seen some high-level players use them. Maybe I just need to experiment a little bit more. I do actually kind of like the idea of a Tree Man Death Star, so using like Dirthu as well as like a Tree Man and then Azrai Spears and just playing these very defensive style of play. I think that can be pretty good as well, but of course I think most people who are very good at Wood Elves are simply going to be using like very good skirmishing tactics and just kind of picking them apart. But definitely more to be learned. So very well played, my opponent, Hadries. Look forward to running into you again on ladder, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this Wood Elf versus Vampire Count game. Have an excellent night, guys, and take care.